Søren Kierkegaard, 1813–1855, was a Danish philosopher and author best known for his works exploring existentialism and Christianity. He is considered one of the most influential figures in modern philosophy. Kierkegaard's works focused on the idea of the individual and the importance of subjective experience in understanding the world. His writings challenged traditional philosophical views, and he argued that philosophical understanding had to be based on personal experience. He believed that life should be lived with passion and commitment, and that one should strive to be an independent thinker. Søren Kierkegaard did not see himself as a philosopher, as he only wrote about life, how we choose to live and what it means to be alive. This made him seen as the father of existentialism. Kierkegaard was the youngest of 7 siblings, but they all died at a very young age, except Kierkegaard and his brother Peter. When Kierkegaard was young, he was seen as strange, since he was able to see multiple consciousnesses within himself. Kierkegaard wrote, "I go out to fish for 1,000 monsters in the depths of my consciousness." At 27 years old, Kierkegaard stood without education and a large sum of money he had inherited from his father. Kierkegaard could choose to become a pastor like his father, or he could explore the strange personality with special gifts, which would ultimately lead him to be an outsider and become an author. Thus Kierkegaard's entire life depended on a choice. Here Kierkegaard began to see that choice is everything. Kierkegaard chose to become an author, but ended up being socially ostracized and ridiculed. Søren Kierkegaard has looked into humanity and has an idea that people do not express themselves as much as they should. Most people hide from themselves. Kierkegaard said, "It's as if most people only lived in the basement of their own house, and when you ask them to move up to the living room, they get angry and scold you. They cling to the life they already have." The reason people cling is, according to Kierkegaard, because of anxiety. Most people live within the norms of society. You've probably heard people say you should find an education. You should find a wife or husband, buy a house, and find a job. Everyone has kind of been given a to-do list, so everyone knows what to do. Living in this way is living outwardly. Kierkegaard has nothing against people living like this, but he says that most do it unconsciously and do not think about the choices they make, they just follow the norm. Kierkegaard wants to talk about the inward, that is, how to relate to one's own life and see the fear in the eyes. One must choose to move away from the crowd or what he describes as an objective truth and go for the inward, which is a subjective truth. Freedom, according to Søren Kierkegaard, is not to be able to choose and watch football, basketball, or boxing on one's TV, but that freedom is to choose it all. That is, freedom and choice go hand in hand. Man is free because he is not predetermined to be anything. Kierkegaard believed that anxiety was an essential human emotion, and one that was necessary in order to experience and fully understand a sense of true freedom. Kierkegaard believed that all human beings experience anxiety at some point in their lives, and that it is an unavoidable emotion. He also believed that anxiety was not necessarily a negative emotion, but rather a positive one, since it was part of the process of discovering one's true self. Kierkegaard believed that by facing and embracing one's anxiety and fear, one could come to a more authentic understanding of their individual identity and purpose in life. For Kierkegaard, there is a huge difference between getting married because everyone gets married or choosing to love a certain woman. But what should we choose? According to Kierkegaard, we should first and foremost choose ourselves. When we choose ourselves, Kierkegaard says that we takes responsibility for ourselves self, and this can be anxiety provoking, but that this is a good thing since anxiety helps one to escape the norms. Kierkegaard was a Christian thinker, that is, one is part of something bigger, but this does not mean one should go to church, since Kierkegaard was a great critic of the church. Thinking that you are a part of something bigger is what Kierkegaard calls jumping into faith. You do not know if you will be caught, but you jump anyway. Only when you've jumped out can you get yourself back. This means that you leave every form of objective truth. The objective truth is based on reason and logic. Søren Kierkegaard wants people to go for the subjective truth, which is the choice that brings most meaning to you. And by leaving every form of rational and make a leap of faith and jump into the idea that God is the total solution. As he put it, to have faith is to lose your mind and to win God. Anxiety is a common emotion experienced by many people. It is a normal reaction to stressful situations, and it can even be beneficial in some cases. However, when it becomes excessive or out of proportion to the situation, it can be disruptive and interfere with daily life. It can be caused by a combination of environmental, psychological, and biological factors. Environmental factors include stressful life events, such as a new job or moving to a new home. Psychological factors include an individual's thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes about a situation. Biological factors include genetic and physiological components that may increase an individual's vulnerability to anxiety. However, the more choices we get access to in the modern world, the more we are left with reason to fret and turn in anxiety, over more ways we hope can quit it, as well as more reasons to feel responsible when we don't. But we have due to what Kierkegaard suggests, how to live with anxiety and to keep moving forward, and take our leaps of faith into what we truly, subjectively and personally believe makes live worth living for.